I'm a fan.
And welcome to this week's edition of Tracking the Wolves. I'm Blake Day with NSU Athletics. The Northern State baseball team defeated Minot State last Tuesday afternoon in both of their games to extend their winning streak to 10 games. NSU beat Minot in Game 1 7-5 and 8-1 Game 2. NSU then had a little bit of a struggle this past weekend against 8th-ranked Minnesota State Mankato, losing all 4 games. NSU baseball is now 19-14 overall and 12-10 in the conference on the year. The NSU softball team swept the weekend in their 4-game set against Bemidji State and Minnesota Crookston. Earlier in the week, they lost both their games to University of Mary on Tuesday afternoon as well. Northern continues to improve their offensive numbers as they currently hold the single-season home run record, which is at 20, with 6 games remaining in the regular season. NSU softball is now 13-25 overall and 6-16 in the NSIC. The Northern State men's and women's track and field teams hosted their lone outdoor meet of the season this past Friday on a very windy day out at Al Solly Track at Swisher Field. The NSU women had 28 top 5 finishes, while the Wolves men collected 14 top 5 finishes. Mackenzie Hagman continued her great season with a pair of event titles on Friday, as she took first place in both the 100 and 200 meter dashes at the meet. Hagman ran a time of 11.89 in the 100 and finished in 25.74 in the 200. The time in the 100 would be a school record for Hagman. The Wolves had multiple other champions on the day, including Nicole Arnold in the 3,000, Madeline Fluarty, and Hannah Trining grabbed a 1-2 finish in the 100-meter hurdles. The NSU women got 2 more titles in the field events Friday thanks to Mariah Nelson, as she won the shot put with a throw of 40 feet, 10.25 inches, and then took the title in the discus as well with a career best throw of 132 feet, 11 inches. That is it for past results. We'll be right back with an interview with Wolves baseball coach Dean Barry.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
And welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. It's now time to talk with Wolves head baseball coach Dean Barry. So, Coach Barry, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
We'll definitely try to keep things brief here as you guys are getting underway here in just a couple hours. A doubleheader today with Winona at 1 and 3 out at Fossum Field. So, I guess let's just kind of start talking right there. We'll kind of get a little season recap in a minute, but talk about Winona today, who we have throwing today, and kind of what we're expecting to see from Winona.
Yeah, you know, they're traditionally one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league, and 2-3 years ago they were in the national championship game down in Indiana. So every time you play Winona, you're gonna have to play well. So we're excited for the opportunity to be going. We've got Colton Boucher and I think Cody Johns will be starting for us today. 2 guys that have had some success this year and really. Guys that take command of the mound and know exactly what they're trying to do up there. So we're excited for that and excited to see what happens today.
All right. Well, I mean, as we talk about season-wise, I'm sitting at 19-14 overall, 12-10 in the conference, just coming off a 10-game win streak there. So congrats on that. I mean, that's the longest win streak in since turning Division II here, and then kind of had a tough little setback here, but. I mean, you talk about Mankato. I mean, a solid program, but 4-game, skid there. What do we kind of seen from the guys as we try to, highs and lows? I guess you talk about there a 10-game win streak, to losing 4 to trying to bounce back now and say, hey, we got to really refocus here and get going here as we final stretch of the season.
Yeah, and yeah, we had a nice little stretch there, but yeah, when you run into a team like Mankato, who's one of the top teams in our league, and I think one of the top teams in the country, as they've proven the last few years that you're going to have to play really good baseball in order to stay with them, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that, and they took advantage of any kind of opportunities or mishaps that we've had, and that's what good teams do. But we talk a lot about keeping perspective with our team and in our program, and understanding that we've got a lot of baseball ahead of us here in the next 3 weeks. We've got 12 games left, all very, very important games as we make a push for playoffs for the first time in history. So that's our goal. We'll keep our eye on that prize, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, right, sitting in 8th place right now, and they take 8 to the conference tournament, correct?
Yep.
For baseball here. So, I mean, what do we, you don't really want to look forward, but I mean, we've got Duluth this weekend. Still kind of, planning on going up there, possibly being here, if whether or not working out there. What are we expecting from Duluth? And then as we've got Mary next Wednesday, our final home games of the year. What are we kind of expecting from those two teams? As like you said, you try to make a push to get into that conference tournament.
Yeah, Duluth is an interesting team. A lot of people will sit and will look at, their record's not very good, or their overall record. Duluth is a team over the last several years who, record hasn't been great, but they turn a switch at a certain time in our conference season and just take off, and that's kind of what they're doing. I think they swept 4 this past weekend. They're a team that, just like everybody, Mary and Southwest and everybody else we play, we have to play good baseball in order to win those games, and we talk about that a lot as a program. We don't worry so much about who we're playing. That we have to take care of our end before anything else, and there's lots of things for us to worry about and concentrate on, and taking care of the things that we can control.
Sure. Let's, I guess, kind of before we wrap things up, to let you go out there, let's kind of talk about just some of your guys that have really stepped up this year. We talk about pitching-wise. Colton Boucher at 5-2, Legion wins on the year. Cody Johns, John Eckstein both have 3 wins apiece. Is that kind of who we expected to kind of be the horses on the starting pitching-wise, or has somebody really? We'll focus on pitchers first. Has anybody really kind of risen to the occasion and stepped up a little bit more? Yeah,
we knew coming into the season we had high hopes and expectations for Colton, knowing what he's done at JUCO and what his abilities are. So we were very hopeful, and he's probably the hardest working guy on our staff and in our program, and a guy who takes it very seriously with his approach, and so with him doing those things and what he brings to the table with that type of quiet leadership that he brings, it's a great thing. Cody Johns, we weren't quite sure. We knew we knew what he was capable of, but what he's able to do on the mound, he's a guy that doesn't overpower you with the fastball, but can throw 3 or 4 pitches for strikes, knows how to pitch, can pitch backwards, can do lots of different things. And one thing about those two, Cody and Colton, is they both defend their position so well. It's like having another infielder out there, and they've made a number of plays that have helped them with their success and our success. So those two guys really have really led the charge with our pitchers.
And then let's kind of switch gears a little bit to more of the hitting side of things. We know Robbie, all-conference player last year. I'm kind of talking about some guys who, position-wise, hitting-wise, have really led the charge. And again, maybe some guys that have really stepped up and risen to the occasion.
Yeah, one guy that's kind of been in the middle of our order this whole time is Matt Stubbs, junior college transfer from Rochester, Minnesota. Really played a very good third base and been very consistent with the bat, and at times shows some power too. So he's one that's kind of been one of our most consistent guys. And another guy, Clayton Nutting. He just continues to get better as an offensive player. We know what he can do athletically, defensively, things like that. But he's still trying to figure some things out offensively. But he's really been helpful, and it's kind of different. We've got different guys stepping up at different times every game, which a lot of times baseball that is the case. But we just need to keep having guys step up and have those key at bats and key hits at crucial times, and that's baseball. You pitch well and pick the ball up and have timely hitting, you're going to win a lot of games, and we've done that up to this point.
All right, well, we'll let you get out of here so we can get out there for the doubleheader with Winona today, and best of luck to you today, this weekend, as then we come back for the home finale, next Wednesday against Mary. So we'll be right back with our interview with our Wolves baseball players.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
With commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why. These student athletes say with pride,
I chose
Division II.
And welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. Joining us today from the Wolves baseball team, we have Buddy Traxler and Colton Boucher. So, fellas, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And actually, we kind of got to whip through things here. You guys, we're kind of under the gun here. Within the next 10 minutes, we got to get you out to the field for your guys' games today. So, let's kind of tell everybody a little bit about yourselves. Buddy, we can start off with you. Kind of talk about your class. Did you redshirt? Did you not? Position, hometown, major. We'll kind of start off with that.
Well, as you said, I'm Buddy Traxler. I'm from Chino Hills, California. I'm a redshirt junior. I did my redshirt year at Concordia University. It's a NAI school in Irvine, California. And I'm a business administration degree.
Okay, very nice. And then Colton.
I'm Colton. I'm a sophomore redshirt. I did my redshirt at Pacific Lutheran because I had Tommy John surgery. My major is biology, and I'm originally from Chehalis, Washington.
Okay, let's any career plans, and I guess expound upon your major a little bit. If you know what you want to do with that when you guys are done. You said redshirt sophomore, redshirt junior, so both still have a few years before we get to that point. But if you know at this point.
Well, I'll be graduating next year, and after that, I plan on opening a couple small businesses, probably local, in the Aberdeen area before I move back to California. So that's my plan as of now.
Okay.
My plan is probably just to go to graduate school, maybe physical therapy or physician's assistant school, depending on how things work out. So.
Okay. And then I think this is probably the least favorite question we always have for the athletes, but I always get a kick out of it, so that's kind of why we go with it, right? But kind of a fun random fact about yourself, or maybe it's even a superstition, game day ritual, just kind of something along those lines that probably Coach Barry knows, teammates know, but nobody else really would know about you.
One of my game things is I tape my wrist for every game, and I have a tape ball of every game used tape for the past 3 years that I've played that I've kept. So that's one of those weird things that I have.
Very nice. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for there.
I mean, I usually have 3 Mountain Dews a day. I drink a Mountain Dew in between innings, so I mean it's a little different. And every night before I pitch, I write a Bible verse on my hat for each game. So.
Okay, very nice. Both very good ones there. Let's now that we've kind of talked about you as individuals, let's kind of talk about the team-wise this season. 19-14 overall, 12-10 in the conference. I believe sitting in 8th place in the conference right now. Let's talk about really just the season up to this point. You guys coming off a recent 10-game winning streak, which I believe is the longest winning streak since we moved to Division II, so congrats on that. Let's just kind of talk about the season up to this point. You go down to Arizona for the big spring trip down there. Now we're really into the heart of the conference season. You guys have gotten in a lot of home games, I mean, in comparison to the last couple of years. Yeah. So let's just kind of talk about what you've seen. Colton, we can start off with you on this one. What you've seen from the team this year, kind of as you've seen them grow from the early, conditioning over the winter to now.
Yeah, I mean, over the year, the time, I think we've really bonded as a team, and that's helped us. Just everyone knows their role, and they've accepted their roles, and so that's a big key to our success. So I think just us being bonded as a team has really helped this season and where we're at with everything.
And Buddy, any to add?
I think having the good weather that we've been having more home games this year has definitely helped. I also think, like Colton said, I've been here longer than him, and in years past we haven't had that tight-knit family feeling amongst the team, and this year is definitely a turnaround year for us. We've had some big wins against some good opponents, so I think that's everyone knowing the role and buying into what we're trying to do has definitely helped turn this year around.
Very nice one. Yeah, and like you said, you have to have that buy-in, and I mean, you don't have a 10-game win streak by accident. There obviously is a buy-in there if you're doing great things like that. So let's kind of talk about as we look forward here over the next couple weeks. As we said, you guys are sitting in 8th place right now, which they take 8 to the conference tournament. Today we've got the doubleheader with Winona. We head out there today, and then this weekend we're at Minnesota Duluth for a 4-game set. Back at home next Wednesday for the final home game of the year, I believe. And then we've still got Southwest Minnesota State. So let's just kind of talk about today. What are we expecting from Winona? And then as we head to Duluth this weekend, what are we expecting to see from these two teams as we move forward here?
Well, historically, they're both pretty strong opponents. I mean, last time we played Winona, it didn't end up in our favor. But I think with the guys that we have this year, especially this today and on the weekend against Duluth, we're going to have some guys show up, and we're going to put our best team on the field, and hopefully things will work out.
Yeah, I think as long as we play our baseball and do what we need to do and we'll get our stuff done, it'll take care of itself. So.
And I guess I should have asked about this. Is the plan still to head to Duluth this weekend?
I believe they're working on bringing the games here. I'm not 100% sure on that, but rumors are going around that we're going to be playing another homestand.
So to be determined on that. But well, thank you to both of you guys for joining us today. Good luck today. And as we said, our NSU baseball team will be taking on Winona today at 1 and 3 out at Fossum Field. So, fellas, thank you for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
Northern State's Aaron Yancey from Wolves softball and Lucas Osowski from the men's track and field team have been named as the Qdoba Scholar Athletes of the Week for their academic and athletic efforts over this past week. Yancey and the Wolves softball team recorded a 4-game weekend sweep of Bemidji State and Minnesota Crookston after a 2-game series at the University of Mary on Tuesday. The Wolves went 4-2 on the week, and Yancey led the team offensively as she hit 412 in the 6 games, tallying 7 hits, 2 of which were doubles. Osowski nabbed a top 5 finish in the shot put at the Wolves' home track meet this past Friday. Osowski placed second in the event with a throw of 45 feet, 7 inches. For upcoming events, the Northern track team returns to action this week with a pair of meets as they'll head to Moorhead, Minnesota for the Cobbler Twilight on Tuesday, and then we'll travel to Des Moines next weekend for the historic Drake Relays. As of now, the NSU baseball team will head up to Minnesota Duluth on Saturday and Sunday to play University of Minnesota Duluth in doubleheaders both days, beginning at 1 p.m. The NSU baseball team will host their last home games of the season next Wednesday, April 30th, with a doubleheader against University of Mary beginning at 1 p.m. at Fossum Field. The last weekend for home softball will be doubleheaders on April 26th and 27th against Sioux Falls and Southwest Minnesota State beginning at 1 p.m. both days. For updated information, schedules, results, and the official Nike gear of Northern State Athletics, go to our website at northernstatewolves.com and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Wolves Athletics. Thanks for watching today, and go Wolves!